Good morning. 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 Hey, y'all. Good morning. 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 Come on into the space. Good morning. 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 Oh, Ashe, look at God. Ah, jeez, my knees. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Good morning to everyone. Good morning. Listen, good morning, y'all. Good morning. Let me hold on. Let me plug some stuff. Listen, this is gonna be an issue. Okay, well, listen. Let me just come straight to it. I am discombobulated this morning. I do not have, I did not, do not have, from last week to now, thinking, meditating, praying, listening. I can't hear you, Lord. What is it? Where's the direction? What's our word? What's our word? What's our word? What shall you have the community say? I wish that there were more of us, especially those of us who are journeying alongside with folk who are delivering messages weekly, like that the community would allow more folk to be honest and say, I don't really have anything to say. like nothing came through. Like I had my ear attuned all week, and yeah, like, and couldn't hear anyone praying, not even myself. And then yesterday morning woke up to learn that this country is actively bombing another country, and has taken its leaders into custody and put its own inept leaders in the place of another country's allegedly inept leaders, and then blatantly said, and we gonna take your oil. Listen, hey, it's not funny, be clear. But I just am, my mother and I spent time on the phone yesterday, and as her birthday is next Friday, and she will be 76, and to hear the frustration, the sheer utter, the anger, the frustration, the anger, and a little bit of trepidation from my almost 76-year-old mother was, I don't know, it was unsettling, very unsettling to know that folks are stuck in the Caribbean right now, not sure when they are coming home. And this is before everything, right? So much. Listen, so much. So much. I have been also in the thick of assisting our eldest with completing her college applications, and we are also heavily in the throes. Like after this morning, I need to get right over to editing scholarship applications. As you all know, my book, The Pink Road Chronicles, is on pre-order right now, and so preparing to engage in that tour of bringing the book to life. And so I don't have I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't have any on top of the mountaintop of encouragement. I don't have I got lots of cuss words, right? But I'm not going to do that. I don't have it. I do. Interestingly enough, I do have an announcement, and it's interesting place given all that has happened over the past week. And then I'll say this. As I was opening just now, you may have heard me say, my goodness, because I was opening up my computer because I am finishing the final typeset edits of the book after those who have endorsed it have sent theirs on to the publisher. And it opened to a sermon that I included, that I preached this month last year, January 2025. So while I, come back and say, I don't have anything to say, I guess, the Spirit says, but we do. but we do. And so by way of just, hold on, let me just pause for a second and give thanks. Whew! The exhale. And I kept saying the Spirit, and for those of you who have been with us since 2016, you will know that this is how we started. That we started not as a polished, now it's time for the message. We started, the chronicle began, the storytelling time began in this way. We just moved around until we found our way, until the Spirit said, park right there. And, we have become what we have become, and I'm not mad at that. And it is necessary for us to have the freedom to always return to our beginnings, to where we are, to what it was always about, right? I never intended for this community to become a parachurch. I never intended to be identified as a pastor. I never intended any of this. I just was being faithful to a need, not even a call. Come here. I was being faithful to a need that I had, not even a call that I could discern, but faithful to a need that I had in the time. And the need that I had at the time was for community. I needed community, and I needed a place where I could hear my own voice, and where my own voice was not a problem, Ashe. And I did not want to wait, need anybody else's pulpit, need a building to go into, when I realized that I had a resource in my phone and in a platform where I could go live and engage. Ashe. And it was from that organic moment, that I started to journey. And some of you came along and have come along with me. When COVID came, when quarantine came, and droves of people found our little humble gathering, the pressure of needing to have a more polished message, a more polished presentation, came along with it. And that's what happens, I guess, with growth. But with growth, the return, right? And so last Sunday, the text was on Get Up and Go. And, as I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, I'm sure I didn't think Get Up and Go back. Yeah, go back. And even as I was thinking all week, right, thinking about, what's the word? I don't hear anything. This is how it started. This is how it was. There was no, and getting away from the Western, our educational, for those of us in the academy, we, a lot of our preparation, there's the word I want to go to, preparation, that the process is largely about preparation, and it is scoffed upon, right? Our extemporaneous ways of knowing, being, speaking are scoffed upon in academic spaces because it is suggested that we are not prepared or that we don't know. And some of us, in an attempt to be viewed as having substance, wrongfully talk about those who we say no preparation, you ain't prepared, right? And so if you're not careful, you will get that Western model, or the model of folk who have really drank too much Kool-Aid, deep down into your system, and believe that all of your lived experiences that have prepared you from then till now are not preparation. You will think that just because you have not typed out a manuscript, you will think that just because it is not clear cut in your mind, you will think that just because you are not presenting it, in a particular way, that you are not prepared. See, and here it comes. But in 2026, in the year of 10, I want to invite you to relax that. Because in this new year, moments are coming swiftly. And the moments are coming so swiftly that we must rely on what we already know. And to be clear, what we already know is the thing. Come on in here and help me. Already, some of us, and if you will ever be so brave to just tap and raise your hand, me. If you will ever be so brave as to say, right, I don't have my 10-point plan, I don't have my da-da-da, I'm just coming in. And so that's what it is. And so before I even move further, I want to say that like so much, and I mean it's coming in like hella fast for me. Hella fast. I'm nowhere where I need to be in terms of my preparation for class. Like, well, look. I gotta get my seat. Didn't I just say? You see how it will seep right in you? Run it back, Melva. That is not correct. I was getting ready to say I'm nowhere near where I need to be in the preparation for my courses, the 3 courses I'm teaching this semester. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true at all. I need to get it in order and in a space and place for it to be presented. There's that. Also, I want to say before shout out to my one of my guides, to one of my wisdom bearers, to one of the most dedicated public servants that I know, to one of the most brilliant minds, legal minds in this country, to one that has a heart for people, a heart of God, and one that you have heard me, you hear me campaigning for, not just for the office that she's running for, but just period. I have ridden with her, and in that, by saying ridden, I mean I ride with, since our meeting in, I was about to say in the early, in 19, so in 2001, since 2001. And that's none other than Judge Penny Brown Reynolds. Judge Penny Brown Reynolds, who is also an ordained Baptist minister, who also has an earned PhD, who also is a JD, who is running for the Secretary of State in the state of Georgia. And so I am really pleased. I walk with her. I will walk with her. I will ride with her, period. And so I'm really pleased to and thankful for her. I'm pleased to be walking with her on next week. We will be together at the Power Seat on January 10th in Atlanta. The Power Seat, myself, Judge Penny Brown Reynolds. I don't have the full slate, so I won't mention the other names that I've been told will be there because I've not seen it all and I don't know what has been conferred upon and what has not. But certainly this is being hosted by Dr. Carrie Bryant at New Birth, and I am really proud to stand beside Judge Penny and others to talk about what needs to be talked about. Ashe. I don't have the registration information. It's not on that flyer, and I just got the flyer last night. So when I find it, I will upload it all. And for also providing this moment and opportunity for her, and she's such the leader that she is, and said, Melva, I need you to come also, so that we can talk about what it has meant for you to even write in this season, to write a book in this season, to bring something to pass in this season. We need to talk about that, and we need to have women who are represented across diverse viewpoints, across diverse understandings, across diverse theological perspectives. It is important, right? And so I I'm there. Ashe, I am there. I'll say more in the clearing. But what I will do, since you are here and we are here, and Holy Spirit just keeps saying, you are never not prepared. I don't care what rooms you go in. I don't care what tables you sit across from. I don't care. You are never not prepared. Never. You are never. Ashe. Let me sit with that. I am never. And so because you're here, Ashe, because you're here, because you found your way here, and because the Spirit says go and be in the Spirit as you always have been, don't let anything interrupt your flow. And I opened my computer up, and it was already up. Chronicle 20 was in the book. Chronicle 20 was and is open in the book, The Pink Robe Chronicles, which right now is available for pre-order wherever you order books. I know some of you are not big box brands and you order from thrift books, which is Ashe. I just read the small print was like you can get your book discounted from thrift books. Now I don't know what that means for me, but off the gate, like it's taking money off the price of my book. I don't know who eats that charge, me or the publisher. I don't know, but I'm just saying. And then there are everywhere else you can purchase books. That book is ready for you to pre-order. But because you are here now, and because the Spirit has shared with me that I am never not prepared, that there is always a word. Bless the great Spirit's heart, Ashe, then I want to share with you exclusively this word from Chronicle 20. Now, just Ashe and amen. Yeah. The ancient path to a liberating future. The ancient path to a liberating future. So I want to invite you to take a position, a posture, as you are receiving this first reading of the Pink Robe Chronicles of 2026. My goodness. Some of you will recall this sermon from 2025, but it has been reformulated into what it is right now. And at the end of it is an opportunity for us to pause and ponder together, for us to meditate, Ashe. And so I invite you to go with us now, as this again is your exclusive, my first reading from this text in this way, readings that will be happening all across the country this year, and invite you to listen. Ashe. Thus says the Lord, stand at the crossroads and look and ask for the ancient paths where the good way lies, and walk in it, and find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk in it. Jeremiah 6:16. This sermon was first preached in January 2025 during the inauguration of the current president. The air was thick. Come on, Natasha. The air was thick with fear and exhaustion as the incoming administration threatened to dismantle hard-won rights and protections. People were weary spiritually, emotionally, politically, grappling with the threat of regressions that would impact healthcare, education, environmental protections, reproductive rights, and civil liberties. I preach this sermon as an invitation and a reminder that we are not without resources. We carry ancient wisdom in our bones. Jambo from Zimbabwe. We international, y'all. From Zimbabwe. Peace, my brother Emmanuel and Como. Jambo. We international, y'all. Okay? I preach this sermon as an invitation and a reminder we are not without resources. We carry ancient wisdom in our bones, sacred memory in our blood. The way forward begins by returning to the ancient path. Beloveds, we are living in a crossroads moment, yet another. Jeremiah's prophetic call to Judah echoes across time. Stand at the crossroads and look. This invitation is both spiritual and practical. In the Yoruba spiritual tradition, the crossroads are sacred. They are the domain of Elegba, also known as Eshu, the divine trickster, the opener of the way, the guardian of the doors and decisions. Elegba doesn't force a choice, he offers possibility. He reminds us that the future is shaped by how we discern in the present. His presence at the crossroads mirrors Jeremiah's call to pause, to seek clarity, to ask for the ancient paths, those rooted in divine wisdom, ancestral knowledge, and moral clarity. From a womanist perspective, this is a collective call, not simply to individual piety, but to communal liberation. From a Black liberation standpoint, it is a confrontation with systemic violence and an insistence that we do not settle for the status quo. And from an Afrofuturistic lens, it is a portal where the deep wisdom of the past converges with our active power to imagine and build a freer, more just future. The text says, stand at the crossroads and look. This is not a passive glance. It is an invitation to examine where we are and how we got here. In both the biblical and African spiritual imaginations, the crossroads are liminal spaces where destinies are shaped. For Judah, the crossroads symbolize a spiritual crisis. Would they return to covenantal living rooted in justice, or would they continue down a path of exploitation and idolatry? Likewise, today we are faced with choices. Will we continue to uphold systems that dehumanize white supremacy, patriarchy, capitalist greed, or will we return to the wisdom of our ancestors who resisted the creativity, courage, and deep faith? Elegba stands as a sacred reminder that our decisions do not happen in isolation. The choices we make ripple across our communities and across time. Standing at the crossroads is an act of accountability, communal, ancestral, and divine. The scripture continues, as for the ancient paths, where the good way lies, these are not dusty relics or outdated customs. The ancient paths are living traditions, spiritual technologies passed down through prayers, whispered in hushed harbors through freedom songs along the Underground Railroad, and through the fierce love of our foremothers who dared to hope against hope. Our ancestors walked those paths not just to survive, but to live, to resist, to dream. These ways are dynamic and adaptive, shaped by struggle and sustained by sacred memory. From a womanist lens, we know that Black women and femmes have always been the keepers of these paths. They carried faith. They carried faith in their bones and liberation in their wombs. From an Afrofuturistic perspective, the ancient paths are blueprints. They remind us that remembering is a radical act and that memory itself can be a site of innovation. Elegba teaches us that the past is never simply behind us. It is always in dialogue with our present and our becoming. Walk in it and you will find rest for your souls, Jeremiah 6:16. But rest here is not just about relief. Rest is about liberation. It is the soul deep exhale that comes when we align ourselves, align our lives with the justice, the righteousness, and the truth of God. Still, the verse ends with heartbreaking clarity. But they said, we will not walk in it. How often do we choose complacency over courage? How often do we reject the good way because it requires us to relinquish power, comfort, or control? To walk the good way is to resist assimilation into systems designed to consume us. It is to walk with those on the margins. It is to say no to empire and yes to the sacred work of coalition building, of community making, and collective healing. It means following the lead of those who have always walked the hardest paths: Black women, queer folk, disabled kin, poor and working class people, those who carry sacred strategies for liberation in their very flesh. Alegba does not only look back, he looks forward. He is a liminal presence, a reminder that time is not linear. The crossroads are also a space of possibility. This is the heart of Afrofuturism, the belief that the past and the future are in constant dialogue, that our ancestors' dreams are still dreaming through us. Think of Harriet Tubman using coded spirituals as maps to freedom. Think of Wakanda, a vision of Black excellence rooted in ancestral tradition and infused with innovation. These, friends, are not fantasies. These are sacred imaginings. These are the ancient paths, alive in our present moment, urging us to walk, to create, and to liberate. Afrofuturism tells us that freedom isn't a destination. Freedom, friends, is a practice. A daily decision to live in alignment with our deepest knowing and divine call. Beloveds, the crossroads are before us, and the choice is not abstract. It is as real as the breath in our lungs and the beat of our hearts. And God is still saying, stand, look, ask, walk. The question is, will we? Will we choose the path of justice over comfort, of truth over convenience? Will we honor the ancient paths, not to replicate them, but to revive them, to remix them, to carry them forward as sacred technologies for freedom? Let us be those who walk the good way, not just for ourselves, but for our communities, for our descendants, for the world we are dreaming into being. At the crossroads, we are not alone. God is there. Alegba is there. Our answers are there. And together they are whispering, choose life, choose liberation, choose the good way, and find rest for your souls. This morning, wherever you are, as long as you're not driving, I want you to find yourself a position as we pause and ponder. Find yourself a position. As we pause and ponder. What crossroads are you facing right now in your personal life, in your community, or in your vocation? And if you want to, you can type them. What crossroads are you currently facing? And you know, this is connecting from last week. See, this is why you got to stop saying you're not prepared. Because last week it was get up and go. And remember, last week it was with urgency. Some of us must go. We must go. Now, when I connect that with this week, it would absolutely mean that some of us then are at a crossroads. So what are you facing right now? Who or what do you consult when you are called to discern? So if you know you're at the crossroad, if you know you heard and hear go, as you are discerning, who is it that you are consulting? What wisdom have you inherited that you may be overlooking? What wisdom have you inherited that you may be overlooking? Take 60 seconds. Now, let me break this down, the teaching that Mama E.T. Hari, another one of my guides, imparted into me many years ago. And this was about the capacities of our well ancestors. That we are experiencing voids in our lives, not only personally, but collectively. And the reason why, whether they be, moral voids, various kinds of voids, to fill those voids, we need to call on the capacities of our ancestors. Meaning we need to call on the names, not just the names, but on the capacities, the ways of knowing and being, right? So then since I mentioned Harriet Tubman, let's go back and talk about Harriet Tubman. A capacity to name for Harriet Tubman was the ability to discern, was the ability to listen, whether it was consciously or subconsciously, and then to follow that discernment. Some of us we no longer use that kind of inherited wisdom because there's so much impacted. We are so full of impacted trauma that we are no longer familiar with not just the sound of our voice, with the sound of the spirit. Oh my goodness. Melva? Yeah. But to fill the void, we need the capacities of our ancestors, those who had ingenuity, those who understood strategy. You understand, right? Because without that, then you are unable to recognize the ancient path. My God. So now then, I would also contend that cloudiness, the inability for you to recognize the inherited wisdom so that you could see the ancient path, really impedes upon your practices, prayers, or memories that anchor you. So in order to retrieve, in order to identify, you need rest. But what does rest look like for your soul? Not just a break, but as a revolutionary alignment with truth, justice, and peace. So here's your question. What sacred strategies from your ancestors can you reclaim to resist systems of oppression today? Let's look for my other charger, y'all. What sacred strategies from your ancestors can you reclaim to resist systems of oppression today? Believing that you are getting them now. Now let's meditate. Here's the closing meditation. And may you know, deep in your bones, that the path has never been lost. And may you know deep in your bones that the path has never been lost. It waits for you in the hush of your breath and in the wisdom of your people, in the songs your grandmothers hummed when the world felt too heavy. Walk now the good way, not because it is easy, but because it is true. Because it remembers you. Because it restores you. Because it leads not only to rest for your soul, but to liberation for your people. Walk boldly. The way has already been blessed. Walk boldly. The way has already been blessed. Ashe. Ashe. Asheo. We are preparing to go over to the clearing, which is our hush harbor, our private virtual space where we talk back to the text and talk to each other. Ashe. I invite those of you who are not subscribers but want to leave an offering. You can do so by Venmo, Melva-Sampson, Melva-Sampson. You can also do so via our PayPal address here, Ashe. And for those of you who use Cash App, you can do so via Cash App at Melva L. Sampson, or Zelle. You can use Dr. Melva Sampson at gmail.com. And if you want to join our subscription community, which is an offering of $30 a month, you can inbox me if you are on Facebook, and I can send you the link to do that. Or you can, if you're on YouTube, you can email me at drmelvasampson at gmail.com. I'm also placing here Ashe. I will see you all very soon.